name is Angelica Harlan-Bides. I am an educator and have been for the past 30 years an administrator. 20 of those years spent here at the Learning Center at Pipers Hill in Stamford, Connecticut. I am a Boston native, relocated to Connecticut, and this is where I purchased my first dogs, actually. I had 2 dogs. The first one, I was very shocked to find out, having never heard of cancer in animals, died very quickly. He had a very fast-moving cancer and could not be saved, nor did I know that dogs could be helped. Lula had treatment every month. A variety of different chemos were used throughout the 14 months that she survived. She had a good 14 months. I think they were treating me as well in the process. I think my greatest fear was that here was somebody that I loved so dearly, and yet I didn't have I couldn't afford to help her.
I had a life-changing experience 5 years ago. I was diagnosed with cancer. At the same time, my dog Riedel, who I had an extraordinarily close relationship with, was also fighting cancer. I don't believe that I could have gone through the treatment and the process with the optimism that I did, that I was going to beat the cancer, if it wasn't for my relationship with Riedel and watching her heroism as she went through her treatment. And that relationship and that bond that we had got closer through that process and fundamentally changed my life forever. What I wanted to prevent was having a loving owner of a dog or cat have to make an awful decision to not treat, to not provide care that would elongate or save the animal's life, purely because they absolutely had no resources to provide for that.
When I was 29, my mom gave me a Rottweiler puppy for my birthday. She allowed me to choose which puppy I wanted. So I came in, I found the puppy, I picked up, it was a litter of 12, it was a massive litter. I picked up all of them, interacted with all of them, but there was one female who I would pick up and she would growl at me. I'd put her back down, I'd go around and I would pick up other dogs and interact with them, and I'd come back to the female, I'd pick her up and she'd growl at me. So I, of course, took that dog. One of the things that I found the most difficult to deal with was the fact that Cody was the only thing I had left of my mom. So when Cody passed away, I wasn't just grieving her death, I was also grieving the death of my mom.
One of the most remarkable experiences that I've had with the Riedel and Cody Fund is seeing individuals who share that same bond and connection with their dogs and cats that I do. I have observed people who have this emotional connection with their animals and embrace them as part of their family as I do.
One of the things that makes us unique as a foundation is, unlike most nonprofits, we fund treatment from start to finish. And what that means is that pet has every opportunity to be able to be put into a state of remission, giving the highest quality of life and the most amount of time with their owners. In many cases, these pets are like family. Imagine having a son or a daughter and not being able to treat for cancer. Imagine how devastating you would feel not being able to do everything possible to help that pet. This foundation is in place to make sure that no pet owner has to go through that.
The absolute hardest thing that we have to deal with at the Riedel and Cody Fund is we have to say no far too often. There are so many more families who need our need than we have the resources to help.
The costs were enormous. There was no way that I could have afforded a single head of household. And I walked out of there that day knowing that there was somebody that was going to help Lula, and I didn't have to go to bed and I worried about where the money was going to come from. And it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money, I'm sure. I don't know exactly how much, but I know one thing that I'm going to raise as much as I can, not only to pay back for her life, but for others. So I'm emotional about that.